7th and 8th grade teachers, get ready. You're going to be proactive. In 2 years, everything's moving in your direction. And what we're going to have, 6th grade will have only 2 points on the report card. So next year, we'll be reading and math and writing in 7th grade, reading, math, and science in 8th grade, and then we really move in the following year to a full load of 5 tests for everyone. The diagnostic tests will be in 6th grade. There'll be 3, 2 in 7th, and only 1 in 8th grade. Will be scored in-house. Someone will score them. If your students don't meet the benchmark in a diagnostic test, then tutoring has to be put in. I own my own think tank. I live in Rocky River. I own my own company. So I'm going to tell you, it comes from what I know. 7th and 8th grade teachers. They'll be out on the website. So what is going to happen, the Ohio Department wants by 4th grade, it's going to take 2 more years, that 90% of the students in Ohio are at grade level in reading, writing, and math. That means when they finally get up to us in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, it's going to take a few years. We won't have to play pickup because this is no child left behind. They will be tutored, help. So when they come in 6th grade, they should be very close to being 6th grade readers in math and 6th grade writers. Won't that be great? There's a lot of hope out there that this can happen too. So 7th and 8th grade teachers, the report card, always looking at achievement scores. So you will be looked at in reading, math, and writing. 8th grade, reading, math, science, and social studies. This is major. And I was told at that meeting, I call it a Dr. Phil moment. As Dr. Phil said, in your lifetime, you have at least 5 chances, opportunities that you say no or yes to, and it changes your life forever. Well, I had a Dr. Phil moment at that meeting when a teacher had the audacity to say to me that my students would not pass the writing or PT. So I went back, I took the challenge, and I started the very beginnings of formula writing. Formula writing is based on, and you can read about it, there's 3 pages in the beginning of the Green Book, which is one book that I've written. It's based on the philosophy of Jerome Bruner. Jerome Bruner said you can teach anyone anything if you put it in a framework, and that's what formula writing does. Within that framework, students are grammatically correct and also can be very creative, as we saw with their stories. I believe that writing is a science and an art. Today I'm going to show you the science of writing, then I'll move to the art of writing, because we are going to go into the 3-paragraph essay today, which means where it should be, it starts in 6th grade. It really starts in 5th grade. Your students come up knowing a 3-paragraph. All right, so we're going to start them in 6th grade, 7th, and 8th grade. And whether you teach history, science, or language arts, we can all write 3-paragraph stories by George Washington, Thomas Edison, or a personal story. Or we can all write an expository or persuasive, persuade why we need to have drug testing for sports, persuade why we need to have uniforms, or an explain one, explain an animal in science, explain something in history. So we're going to move to a 3-paragraph after we get done with the short and extended. And I'm going to give you something to do 3 times a week for 2 minutes, all right? I find our students are very, very tight. They're not used to thinking, are they? They're used to watching. How many hours, did you see it in the paper, does a middle school student watch TV a day? 6 hours at least. 6 hours of TV. They're on the video, they're on the computer, they're at movies, they're watching TV. Most students of today watch, they don't think. All right, they don't read either. So I'm going to ask you 3 times a week, maybe twice a week, if that's how you can fit it in. 2 minutes to brainstorm with your students. So if you're talking about the Revolutionary War, everybody takes out a sheet of paper and for 2 minutes writes all the words they can think of for the Revolutionary War. Any math word could be math. Words from the Odyssey, something you're reading in language arts. Colors, cartoons, gum, candy, fruits and vegetables. Now when you start this, if you start this week, the most, and the person who has the most should read their answers. They can either get extra credit or what I did, hang out at Rite Aid after Easter and get some treats. Get some treats for them wherever I go. So, and I'm going to do some aha moments with your students. I do this all over. I will bring you some of these. I actually have to write this book. But it's 1 minute of intriguing every day. You can look for things. I actually have some things that I cut out of the paper that I have to add to my repertoire. But our students, I think, need to be intrigued each day in your classroom. Not entertained, entertained, but intrigued with something. For example, you walk into your math class and you say, if one synchronized swimmer drowns, do the others have to drown too? Look at your students, sort of an intriguing question. Or is it against the law in history to yell movie in a crowded firehouse? All right. Or you can give them some of these that I show to the students. Let's give you one here. A reading one. Mary's mother had 4 children. The oldest was named North. The second oldest was named South. The third was named East. What was the 4th child's name? West. West is wrong. West is wrong. 4. Mary's mother had 4 children. The oldest was named North. This is a reading question, the second. And the students are so intrigued by this. The answer is Mary. If Mary's mother had 4 children, I got them all. North, south, east. There it is. Now I've got the students right there. I've got them right there. Okay. Or you can go on ad nauseum about viewpoint. Viewpoint is very important in language arts and history. It's the way we look at things. I say to the students, is there more than one way to look at an answer in a test? Yes. Well, let's look at an example. Here she is. Isn't she lovely? All right. Same picture, different viewpoint. Same picture, different viewpoint. The kids are right with me now. They love this, all right? I heard this is on the internet. This is teacher in September, and this is teacher in June. So this very much shows that you can be looking at something and you can see different perspectives, different angles. I have them add this in math. And I'm going to bring a bunch of these with me. And they add them along. 1,030 is 2,030, 2,060, 3,060, 3,090, 4,000. And the answer is 5,000 is wrong. It's 4,100. All right, and they're great. What? 5,000. All right, so I'm intriguing them. I have a lot of these things to do. It's going to. So anything I'm saying here, you're going to get a whole lot of information in this book. But I like to use just the free-floating paper, and then you can refer back to the book at your leisure. But what I'm saying is all in here. And we're going to start with what is going to be in 4 parts of the test. All right. So this is, I want something you to have. But I want to talk about timing. Timing is everything. And I heard that your students spend a long time. I don't think I brought my exploding hamburger. But one of your goals this summer is to get a good time, a fun timer. A chicken that screeches. I have an exploding hamburger that I got at a flea market. Okay, nobody wants timers anymore. You can buy them very cheaply. And there's going to be a lot more jobs because the 7th and 8th grade is going to have written responses. So this is a big deal down there. So the new thing is they're going to have code 9. And you can start using this next year. Code 9 means it's messy or it's too teeny. Too teeny. So messy writing or too teeny writing will be a code 9. I suggest you use that on your papers. And say, oh, I'm not even reading it. So the state has decided no longer they can take their magnifying glass out and decipher. They can't read it, it's too small. Code 9. Now what do you say to the small writers? You have one this year, small printer? That's what I used to say all the time. I met 3 this year. I don't know their names, so I have to go up. What's your name? Robert. Okay, Robert, could you do me a favor? Could you please write smaller? And he immediately writes bigger. All right, so say that to your teeny writers. Could you please write smaller? And they'll write bigger. All right, try paradox on them. You don't know what to do. Cleveland Heights High, 3 girls were screaming in the hallway. I'd go up and I'd say, could you please be louder? They immediately start screaming and they stop immediately. Charles and Amanda, could you please talk more in the back of the room? They would go up and they would immediately stop. So if you want to get your students to do something, try the opposite. And it really works with them, especially in middle school. All right, so there it is. Code 9 and messy help them to really move through. So how do teachers motivate? At Heights High, I start with A's. I started with A's. Ever do that? I gave 1,000 points each grading period. Michael got 9 wrong, which is 991 points. If you want to motivate your students, start with A's and move backwards. Don't give them A's. Start them. Everybody's an A in the class. I had no control. I went in at Cleveland Cleveland Heights High in February, and had 7 substitutes before me. They were standing everywhere screaming. I thought, what am I going to do here? So that's the first thing I said. Everyone has a name here. We're moving backwards. Everybody sat down and started listening to me. It was amazing. So one year it backfired with one student. I did this for 13 years. 1991, a student raised his hand. Ms. Cosner, when I reach a seat, let me know and I'll start to work. He's the only one the first day of school that got to say that to me. All right. Now, is this a sentence? No. 1 to 6 words. Do you hear me, gifted? 1 to 6 words. That's all you need. Not a complete sentence. Positive phone calls. Now, this is another thing I went out on a limb. I said I will never call home for a negative reason. Oh, wow, this lady's got my back. I thought the principal would do that or someone else if I had to. I never called home. So when they knew it was me on the phone every Thursday night, I would call 5 homes. Parents would cry. They would run to get their mother. You call home, oh, she's not home, that type of thing. They would run to get their parent. And they would get new clothes. One boy even got a car. I put him over the top. And what I found by saying that to my students, positive phone calls only, is that they would say, you know, I got in trouble, Ms. Cosner. If I'm really good on Thursday night, will you give me a call? And all of a sudden, Michael was the best he'd ever been. And he found out something that week. Do you know it's easier to do what you need to do than to goof around and try to get out of stuff? And he said to himself, my goodness, I just watched him. This is so much easier and I'm not getting into trouble. I changed students amazing, watching positive phone calls every week worked for my students. I never called home for a negative reason. I remember one time, many times parents cried. They'd never received a positive phone call. But I remember one man accused me of being drunk. I'll never forget that. And he said to me, what time did school start? I said 8:30. He said, I'm going to be there, Ms. Cosner, because no one has ever said a good thing about my boy. And I'm going to shake your hand. And in he came. All right? So I had parents. They knew I had their children's back, too. And so I had a very good reputation with my parents who could trust me and their students who could trust me. And when they needed help at Cleveland Heights High, they would talk to me and then I would get them into the system. A lot of parents are very nervous around schools. They had bad experience. 5. Now you are ready to write. Write a topic sentence. Start with the word or words in the middle of the wheel. This is the way we're talking about. You take that question and start with a powerful word. And you define or explain. So you can write a definition or an explanation. All right, we're not going to use these cheap words here and these. Here are the ways that teachers motivate students. I see that all over the state. 7th graders, you are cheap, and call them cheap if they start with those cheap words. These are the ways that teachers motivate. There's another cheap beginning. Why is it cheap? You have to tell them. Where does my subject go? Here are the ways, there it goes, it's going to the end of the sentence, you're losing all your power, 7th graders, and I want you to be powerful writers. Now, if you want to do something funny at the beginning of the year, you stand near your door, and you say, I'm going to tell you why it's cheap. Here are the ways that teachers motivate their students, and you're out the door. And then you walk back in, they're all like, where'd she go? That's where my subject went. It went out the door. So you see what I'm saying here? I've done this 5 times this year, and the students are like, whoa. They'll never forget that. They will never forget that visual of me screaming down the hallway, and where did my teacher just leave? All right, that's what happens. Your subject just left. So how do you write a powerful topic sentence? I'm a kickboxer. You punch out the middle of the wheel. Start with those words. Teachers motivate students in many ways, and I'm going to explain it so they can be successful. Teachers motivate students in many ways so they can be successful. I don't get it, Ms. Cosner. How do I start that topic sentence, which is the hardest sentence? Right there, Charles. It's right there. Start with the word and write a powerful topic sentence. Everybody can get this one. All right, then 2 examples, all right? This is where we're going to snap it. Next, turn each spoke in each sentence by snapping the inner spoke, these are snaps, to the outer spoke with snap words. So this looks like a snap or a button. And we're going to snap it, baby, I yell out. I heard someone in the OGT in Toledo in the middle of the, I think, science test stood up and said, snap. He told me he was going to do it too, so I checked and he did it. All right, so these are the most used snap it, baby words. These are the most used conjunctions, prepositions, and relative pronouns. Now, I had a teacher this year say, this took me years to figure out. These are the most used conjunctions, prepositions, so don't take the list down. Their favorite ones, they'll know snap words. And I had a principal say, I made this easier, I gave 150 snap words to my teachers. Are you kidding me? The students were drowning in all those words. This is the most, almost every sentence. You can snap it, baby, together to write a long sentence. Now, we're going to write our 2 sentences. Now, I want at least 10 words in each one of these. I'm going to 10 words or more. All right, you're going to be able to do this. When you give them a number, they will get there. If you just say write a sentence, 5 words, 6 words. So I'm going to push 6th, 7th, and 8th graders to write at least 10 words in these 2 long sentences. We're talking about information. Here we go. Teachers motivate students in many ways so they can be successful. First, teachers can start with and, baby, and only one student said it would work when reached a C. I'm going to add more words. 7th graders, I want 10 words in there. You ask them, they will step up. They'll be shocked. Many of them will get 16 without even thinking. So tell them to start at the top, snap it to the bottom, and then pull it. Add some more words if they need it to get yourself a rubber band. By making positive phone calls, and I can use the same snap word. As a teacher, I made 5 great results. There it is. All right. 2 well-developed sentences. Now, there's the end. Sentence 1 with 3. It would have 3 spokes. So let's do an extended one. Why do we have all these tests? Why do we have all these? How many words do we at least need in each spoke? 10. All right, so here we go. We have all these new tests so our students can be successful in life. One reason is because of the No Child Left Behind Act, which, there it is, snap it, baby, gives a test in every grade, bullet, kindergarten through 12th grade. See, I'm adding more words at the end. Another reason we have all these standards that are found in the OTE books in Compass. There it is, 10 words. And lastly, students couldn't read or write, snap it, baby, and they, I have to have some words here, they were getting a high school diploma. Does the topic sentence need 10 words or more? No. I don't care about that one. But if you're going to do it, as the principal said, invert it, it's going to be a long topic sentence. So that's how you would be short and extended answers. Okay. Are we ready to try one? All right. In a short, they have to write 3 sentences. They tell me that. I'm going to say something. Can you write 3 sentences now? There's not one person's going to say that. I'm just going to read it. Everybody put your finger in there for 1/8 graders. Oh, that's the wrong one. And figure out the topic or answer what's being asked. So what I have up here, I answer what is being asked, all right? How can teachers prepare for all the new tests, all right? So we're going to swim through and underline teachers can prepare. I want to switch it around. This is exactly what you're talking about. Take the question and flip it into a statement. Teachers can prepare for all the new tests. Now, I have to stop here for a minute. This is where 2 concepts. I don't even know myself when I'm